Hello, welcome to the Giants Series postgame show. I am David, and what I like to do is I like to talk about San Francisco Giants and what they've done in their latest series. Now, the Giants go to Toronto. As I said in my previous videos, that the Giants need to start winning away. Well, they did not do it this time. They lost 2 games to 3. Now, usually I would be bummed after a series like this, but this series came down to one play for each of the 2 losses that went against the Giants. I love games that are neck and neck, but one team just needs that little pinch of luck. But the thing is, the Toronto Blue Jays got it this time, so yeah. I got 2 really good games out of it. The third game I didn't really care for just because it was a slugfest. I hate slugfest because I love seeing good pitching. But in the series, you got tons of it. Now, the first game. First game, the Giants threw out Barry Zito. Barry Zito, in the last couple of outings, he's looked okay, a little bit under average, but this game he came out with his great curveball. The curveball had so much curve to it, which is kind of funny to say, but it had so much curve to it that it just reminded me of the Zito I saw back in Oakland, back when the days when he won his Cy Young. He knew where he wanted to throw it, and he could throw it there. Unlike Sanchez in the third game, but I'll get to that later. But the one factor that factored into this game was Zito. He threw his perfect curveball in the 8th inning. I forget who he threw it to, but the guy hit it for a home run. And usually when he throws a ball and it goes for a home run, it just felt like he hung it too much and it was a given. But this time, he knew where he wanted to throw it and he threw it there, but the Blue Jays has had the luck on their side. One thing I loved, though, was that during when he was talking to a reporter, the reporter asked him, "So, what'd you think about that ball that you threw that went into the stands?" And he was like, "I knew where I wanted to throw it, I threw it there, and he just beat me." So, whenever a guy just admits, "Hey, the guy just beat me and I threw my best, he hit his best, but he won," I give him props for that, for admitting that, hey, I did what I needed to do, but that guy just beat me. Now, Game 2. Game 2 was the most frustrating game that I could watch. Not because the Giants played terrible. They actually played, okay. It was mostly a pitching duel. But the thing that I hated the most was that Bruce Bochy does not know how to say to a pitcher, "I think you're done." He always leaves a pitcher in there for either one inning too long or for one hitter too long. And I cannot count how many games he's lost this year or even the last couple years that amounted to him leaving a pitcher in there too damn long. Now, in the second game, he brings out Matt Cain. Matt Cain throws a beautiful game. And that's what you come to expect when you see Matt Cain in the last 4 outings, where he's just been pitching dominant. He needed it again. But there was some things that I think it was in the 8th inning. No, in the 7th inning. 0-0 game. Blue Jays skipper notices that, hey, we got a bullpen that can actually take care of it. I'm going to sit my pitcher, say, hey, you did a great game. I'm not going to try to use you too much and that you lose the game for us. And he brought in a reliever, and the reliever did fantastic. And then it was Bruce Bochy's turn to decide, do I want to leave my pitcher in there to pitch another great inning? Or do I want to try to say, hey, good job, but let's leave it to the other guys? Well, he decided, I'm going to throw Matt Cain in there. First 2 batters, terrific. Matt Cain looked like dominant. But then he went against Fred Lewis, 4-pitch walk. Now, that would have been my first sign to say, all right, I'm pulling you. But Bruce Bochy didn't even have anybody warming up. Now, I would understand this, but I would have had somebody already warming up just in case. He didn't even expect it. And after that 4-pitch walk, you could tell before Lewis that he was starting to lose some steam. I mean, it was a 3-2 count, and the guy got a grounder, and it was like, okay. But that was after, I think, 8 or 9 pitches. And it looked like he was just getting exhausted. And then Lewis comes up in 4-pitch walk. And then a 2-run home run by Hill. And right after that 4-pitch walk, I didn't even see that they looked into that the video cameras looked into the see if the Giants had any guys warming up after the 4-pitch walk. But then Hill got a home run, and then they looked into the bullpen, and then I could see that the call went out saying, hey, get some guys on there. Now, Bruce Bochy, you do not know what you're doing in this department. You need to give somebody else the reins to say, hey, this guy needs to be pulled out now, or we need to start warming up the guys just in case. And you see definitely in the third game where Sanchez was throwing like crap, and Bochy went and pulled out early. You could tell that he got a slashing from, I don't know who, but probably from the upper office, but I don't know. But in the second game, there was a stat that came out. Molina turns 36 in 2 weeks. Now, Molina, I kind of defended you in my first video, but I think you're done. We need to trade you. I think we need to trade you to either some guys in the AL, NL. I don't give a shit. I want you out of my team. Whiteside, I noticed that he takes bats. He looks better at the bats. He may not get the hits, but when he's taking the bats, he takes a couple pitches. He sees where the pitcher's going, and he starts working the count. Where Molina, he just looks like he's just getting too old out there. His legs are done. And I think, Molina, I'm sorry. I know you have an ego problem, but get the hell out of my team. And Buster Posey has a 1 for 21 in his last 21 at-bats going into Game 2. I'm not really worried about that. I know he's going to have scuffles like this because this is his first Major League season. But, you know, I would be expecting that because I knew, like, his first 7 games, like, where he... or actually, like, first 15 games when he was just magnificent. Everybody's like, hey, there's Jesus right up there. But, nah. We're starting to see the real Buster Posey, and he's not, you know, a superstar yet, but he will be there. So, this little scuffle he's having, it's fine with me. Now, Game 3. Game 3, as I said before, that this was not my favorite game of the series. It felt really sloppy. The reason why is because both pitchers for the Blue Jays and the Giants, their starting pitchers just sucked ass. And I'm a guy who loves pitching, and when I see pitchers just sucking, I don't want to pay attention to the game because I don't really care for seeing home run after home run after home run. I love seeing the games that are close and tight to the end. But the Giants had Sanchez. I think it's like in the 5th inning, there was 5 runs. Sanchez counts for 3 of them. He hit a bomb, and it hit right off the foul pole line, and it just looked like that's what I did not expect to see from Sanchez. I did not expect him to be a home run hit guy, but when he hits a home run, it counts. And if that's the way it's going to be, way a thumbs up with that. But Sanchez with his terrible outing, I'm talking about the pitcher Sanchez now. Sanchez with his terrible outing with no control, and he let his anger get to him. You could definitely tell in the first inning. I was keeping count, and he had almost 27 pitches in his first inning, and you saw him going up to mound, take a pitch, and then get the ball back, and then just walk the mound. He did that so much that Whiteside had to go up to him and say, hey, we need you to pitch, not to walk around. And that's why I think that Whiteside needs to be the catcher of the future. The catcher of the future right now. Because he can actually go up to the guy and say, hey, start pitching. Because you know what Molina probably would say? He's like, oh, man, you're doing okay. Stay in there. Where Whiteside's like, get your act together, man. You're making it harder for me. But in the end, the Giants won 9-6. And it wasn't a pretty game, but hey, at least they got one out of it. Now the next series, the Giants go against the Astros. Now, the Giants against the Padres, it could be a massacre. I mean, the Padres just killed the Giants. But the Giants have the team that they do that to. They do that to the Houston Astros. They've won every single game against this team. And now they come out with Tim Lincecum, Barry Zito, and Matt Cain. I'm expecting a 3-game sweep. I don't know about you guys, but I say that it's an easy victory. But I am David, and this is the San Francisco Giants Series postgame show, and I hope you enjoy.